You're going to want to hear this.
Gerry's percentages.
I don't love being commissioner as much as I used to. I actually love it even more.
That's the voice of a Hall of Famer.
Are you kidding? Have you been out drinking?
You're all pigeons. Filthy, filthy pigeons.
It's Gerry. Gerry.
All right, so it's a big one tonight. Gerry and the crew. All the teams are going to be there down in Nashville, including the Arizona Coyotes. See their whole crew walking in with the same suits. I like it, man. I got to be honest.
I don't mind it. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's creative. I
cool.
jump on them a lot.
They can't afford anything else, but they can $1,000 a piece.
Right.
Fire them up, boys.
You're
no
not
rink,
going to see that
no
in the
nothing.
dorm room. That ain't coming right from the dorm, man. That's a professional hockey team right there. Shout out.
I love it. A few great grinders in there, too.
There's Fergie in the front, too, just grinding his way into the building.
Love it.
Fergie's going to have a big impact on what happens tonight.
Yeah, he's a great man.
Yeah, good
Lots
suit.
of unity there.
Yeah.
Lots of unity.
But I got no problem with that. I kind of like that. A little personality, right? A little camaraderie. Nothing wrong with that. I get on the Arizona State University Coyotes a lot, but I will not be doing it here. Not going to happen. I like that.
No, lots of love for them.
Lots of love
lots
for
of love.
the Coyotes.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. You guys ready to hear from Gerry?
Go ahead.
Gerry's putting on an absolute clinic in Nashville. Even jumped on a boozy bike tour with the bachelorette party. And let's say the bride-to-be is having second thoughts. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was Gerry time on the bike. Now a team that's not having second thoughts is the Blue Jays sending Manoah to Florida. And he might as well unpack his bags because he won't be back in the majors this season.
I'm kind of higher than I ever thought I would be on that. Mm-hmm. Like, Schneid's our boy is saying the right things, and everyone in the organization is. But no one's kind of said the truth, which is this whole operation of what is Alek Manoah looks like it's miles away from even being close to a major league start.
Yeah.
So I'm like 80% that this happens. 80%, which is frightening.
That's high. That's high. It's
it
frightening.
is.
And
how could I be any lower than that with that stat line? And I don't care how much the stat line was downplayed. That is frightening stuff.
Yes, it is. And like Schneider, we knew he was going to try and put a positive spin on it. And, you know, he's speaking about the park, the energy in there, who's behind the plate. 11 earned, 2 home runs, 10 hits, 2 2/3 in the complex league is
against paper boys.
Astonishing stat line.
2 2/3 is the thing that there was a few things yesterday when we had Scotty on that were jarring. Mm-hmm. That one, the stat line, the 2 2/3. He talked about, a number which was not good.
Basically 30 pounds overweight when he showed up to camp. That's according to the report.
Yeah.
And
it just like stuff like that to me. There is like there's obviously several things he needs to work on. Conditioning's one of them, but it just 2 2/3. Hayes, you said it was probably like a 75 pitch count where they were like, okay, you're done. That, and he's down there against 17, 18, 19-year-olds and can't get out of the second. That's not good.
No, it's not. And in terms of the question, Ross Atkins, he said today, fully expect him to come up. What is Ross going to say? What's he going to say at the end of June? The guy's not coming back and we'll reset next spring. But
just seems like a stretch now, Hazy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower than you all because, they've been very lucky that the other guys have been healthy. Like Gosman's been very healthy, and Barrios and Kikuchi and Bassett. They've gone out there every other day. Those guys have gone out there and pitched.
Yeah.
But if they run into injuries, they don't acquire something at the deadline, and it gets to a point where he could be close, and they want to believe that he can get it together, desperation can do some wild things. I'll say 60%. I'm still into the majority that we don't see him again in the bigs, but 60%.
I'm above. I didn't like that stat line. I didn't like some of the information coming out of there. I'm 84%.
Austin Matthews Matthews and Billy Nye, the wrist shot guy, will take hometown discounts for the Leafs. I had a hard time saying that with a straight face.
Okay. Jerry's not even believing his own takes anymore. What kind of world are we living in here?
Hometown discounts.
Like, be reasonable. It's just that.
Yeah, I'll be reasonable. The idea of them taking hometown discounts, I think, is 20%.
Okay.
Because I don't know if anybody's taken a hometown discount this far. Why would it start now? And that's as simple as my answer could be. Is someone going to wake up and say, nah, it's time for a hometown discount? I don't think so.
My question is, what would you define as a hometown discount?
Well, that's
Austin
the other
Matthews?
element of the question that Jerry didn't specify, and we don't really know that.
Well,
but just the
I would
idea of
argue
it, I'm
if
saying 20%.
If it's around 13 on a long-term deal, I think he'll spin it as he could get a lot. He could have gotten a lot more.
Okay,
right?
So for Matthews, let's say 13 with a 5 years minimum type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And Nylander, what would be a hometown discount for Willie Nylander?
Something in the 8s. 8 years
Something
in
with
the
an
8s.
8. Okay. I am 22% on that.
Both of you are very low. Okay. Very
Yeah.
low. Yeah, well, listen.
It's not very low. It's just low.
Yeah. It's low.
Yeah, it's a 1 in 4 type of thing. Like
Okay.
might be a bit more. I think Matthews. The scary part is I think Matthews might be perceived more as a hometown than Willie. You know, because him getting 8.8 or whatever or 8. I think he's going to get something with a 9. It's just
I think
that's
technically it's
going
a
rate.
1 in 5 type of thing.
Yeah, 1 in 5. Yes, 1 in 5.
Oh,
We're going to
sorry.
get that right.
Yep. Sorry about that.
I'll say I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic. And there wasn't a discount the last time around. And I certainly would not be bracing for anything significant. But I do wonder if there's something there, and I feel like it's more Matthews. But, like, someone's got to set the bar for the organization. And that's why I think it's imperative that it is him. He's going to be the highest paid guy, right? And if you get too crazy, then the other guys are going to say, all right, I got to get to a percentage of that. And I don't know if he'll buy it. I don't know if his representative will buy it. But 40%. 40% the Matthews deal is actually reasonable as opposed to, wow, this guy got a lot or, really took them for a ride. 40%.
Hearing buzz that Kyle Lowry might get waived by the Heat. Well, you better believe he'll sign back with the Raptors if that happens.
0% chance.
0% the Groat returns.
Wow.
If he wants to be an assistant coach, maybe.
Darko is looking for help.
Dude, I'm covering sports for the last 10 years. I'm done with the old come back at 36 type deal, and just for sentiment reasons only. How often does it work out? I'm at just a 0% on this. No way.
All right.
No way.
Yeah.
And he's living in that. Like, I don't think he would want to come back, to be honest with you, unless he's dying for a bargain basement deal for work, which I think
Could
is
be the end of
highly
the road
doubtful.
for Kyle.
Yes.
It may just be, hey, I'll take my money. I've had a great career.
That's it. Check, please.
that's
I'm
it.
done. I got
Yep.
nothing in the tank anyway.
Okay. Noodles?
I'm a little higher than this. I think I'm 15%. I think there's a chance, but I don't see it. I don't think
it's ideal for either party, right? Like the Raptors, you moved on. It happened.
It's
Kyle was
0%,
great.
Hayes, and if you guys want to put some Weasley little percentage on it, you're just basically saying, what the hell? I'm not going to say 0. At least I bring the truth. It's 0.
Listen, it's hypothetical anyway because he has not been waived. As of now, he's still signing with Miami. But if he gets waived, Kyle has to have an understanding that that's the league telling him you're done. If you want to pull a Vince, you're coming off the bench, you play. There's a lot of games you're not even going to play. That's where there's a possible angle there, but I'm not sure he's wired that way to do it either. And I don't know if Kyle is like the ambassador type. Like his whole chip on the shoulder, I got to be in there, and he's a bull on the court. I'm not sure he can adapt to the other side. I'm not sure Masai would want to see it. And plus, you got a new rookie coach. You bring Kyle in here. Yeah, it's 0%. You know what?
All right.
1%. 1%.
Oh,
1%.
Say
that's
zero.
That's a wheezy
Say
percent.
zero.
1%
Say zero.
chance. There's a 1 in 100. There's a 1 in 100% chance that
Swanson.
either side comes to each other and goes, you know what? Maybe a one-off. On the cheap, one-off. All right, what else do we have?
The Toronto Maple Leafs will make at least one trade with the Flames before the beginning of next season.
A lot of connection there, right? With Brad Treliving now running the show here.
I'm going to say 12%.
Wow.
I'm going to say 12% because there is probably some options there. But sometimes you want to steer clear of the obvious, where it's like, do I want to start cherry picking off my old organization? It's so predictable. And then it's like he had to get his guys. I mean, we saw the Sault Ste. Marie routine where it's like, got to get this guy, got to get that guy. And maybe it was just by chance that they were all from the Sioux. But I think he steers clear from that. 12%.
I'm the other way. I think Kyle Dubas will end up grabbing Justin Hull or Michael Bunting or somebody like that, guys that he invested in here in Toronto and they may move away from. And at the same situation, I think Brad Treliving probably covets a few guys that he really liked in Calgary that maybe Craig Conroy will part with. So I'm high on this. I think it's 67%.
67%.
Most likely there is something. A lot of you see that all the time where a manager had a player in a certain situation, brings him into his new situation.
Yep.
So
I hear you on that. I'm kind of with
high
you,
on that.
Noodles. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, there's already rumors and reports that Treliving could have his eye on a guy or two. Who knows how Conroy looks at it also, right? Like, what does he want to change? And I think that makes sense. Now, if you put the shoe on a different foot, do we expect Kyle Dubas and the Leafs to make a move? Do you think Dubas will make a move with Toronto between now and the beginning of the season? I'm not sure how likely that is, right? Because of the amount of UFAs here that he could possibly pluck without having to trade for somebody. But from that logic, it becomes more of what kind of O is saying. So I'll go 68%, just above you, Noodles, because I do think, Calgary, if they're in a position where they're really selling and they're really turning things over, it would make sense that Treliving would be one of the guys knocking on the door, right? And would certainly have his eye on a guy or two. So 68%. Do we have one more, JP?
The New Jersey Devils are one of Gerry's sweetheart teams. And if they get Connor Hellebuck, they should be the cup favorite going into next season. Ooh. I know Hazy B loves things down in Jersey.
Yeah, be very relevant if that happened.
I'm
very
not going down this road from what you mentioned. All the talk about running up and down the ice, skating you out of the rink. Doesn't happen like that. So how could you be cup favorites even though you have the goaltender? Not doing it. I'm like 15%.
Okay.
Plus, would they be able to afford the goalie? They just gave Meyer. Like, I have to check their cap structure there. They might have to move some money.
They're starting to blow some dough down there. Heischer, Jack Hughes, Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah. Well, they got Hughes on a great contract. Great deal.
No, a lot of those guys, they're all on good contracts, $8 million and less type of thing. But I mean, the goalie does give you a chance, but, define cup favorite can top 10 because there are 10 teams that we really
favorite.
Like,
I'm 4%.
Number one.
I'm lower on that. I'll say 8%. Just
8%.
I'm pretty low on that.
Okay, they had a great year last year, right?
They
a lot
did.
of people very high on this team. You bring in Toffoli. I think that was a really good play. Steinmeier. You're talking Hellebuck here. That's your boy, Noodles.
I love the guy, and
if that happened,
he's a difference maker. But I still think that there are better teams. Like
I would agree with you.
I don't know.
Well, FanDuel see it that way, right? There'll be a lot of scratch coming in on them, but I'm low on this too. I'm 20%. I think they'd be one of the 5 or 6 teams that would get a lot of love, right? But a standalone, I think it's too early to know who that standalone is. I do. Maybe it should be Vegas. Maybe it reverts back to Tampa or Boston based on what they did last season. But Jersey, even with Hellebuck, which would be a hell of a haul, right? If they could find a way to make the money work, and he's been linked there. Who knows if there's any legitimacy to it? That would put them in a spot where they'd certainly be a team to be reckoned with during the regular season without question.